Hey, don't touch her. That's evil spirit. If you touch her... No. If you touch her, I'm leaving this place. I will leave you guys here. No, don't touch her. Don't touch her. No.
Please help.
No.
Please help me. Help me lift her, please. Princess. Please help. Somebody help. Please. Please do stop me, please.
Princess, I made you something.
I don't want.
It will make you feel better.
I don't want.
Sorry, I was really trying to help.
I'm sorry, okay? I'm just frustrated with life.
You don't have to be. Life is beautiful.
But I'm not. I'm not. My whole life is a mess.
Princess, please don't talk like that. Your life is beautiful. You have a thriving business, a beautiful house, a nice car, and other luxuries people wish for in life.
After that, then what? No, but after that, then what? I have epilepsy too. Nobody wishes for it. Do you know how hard living with this condition my whole life? I didn't have friends growing up. Nobody wanted to be my friend in primary school. And then secondary school, I literally had to pay people to be my friend. I'll give out my snacks. I'll give out everything, my chocolates, just so they could be friends with me. I'm sorry. And then now, I'm having seizures in public places. I can't even go to have fun. I might get a seizure attack. And then you say my life is beautiful. What am I supposed to do with the car? What am I supposed to do with the house? Everything can go if the epilepsy won't go. Stop. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Hello, Uncle Sam.
How are you, Emmanuel?
I'm fine. How are you? How's the family?
Oh, the family is fine.
Oh, well, thank God.
So how is business?
Oh, well, business is going smoothly.
That's good.
Yeah.
The Lord will increase your business.
Amen. Thank you very much.
You know, no matter how successful a man is, he isn't complete without a wife.
I know, I just haven't found the one yet, all right? All the women I'm seeing are just interested in my money. All they think about is buy me this, buy me that, buy me the latest iPhone, buy me hair. That's all they do. Buy. That's all they talk about. That's the only language they understand.
But it's not bad to buy things for your woman.
Of course I know that, but that's basically all they do. They don't even add value to my life. I want a woman that will add value to my life and not just, reduce it. Not a woman that will just keep taking. I want a woman that will add value to my life. A woman that will arouse my intellect as well as my loins.
Don't worry that the right woman will come your way.
I've heard. How is Auntie Grace?
Oh, she's fine.
Yeah, good afternoon. I want really nice suits. Do you have any?
Very nice suits of good quality and designs, of course.
Good quality. You're sure they are of good quality?
We only sell authentic items here. I'll take it from here. All right. Hi.
Hi. You must be the manager.
Actually, I own the place, so you could say that.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so like I said, we only sell authentic items, and you would wear a 52, so this way, please. Okay, yeah, this is 52. What color would you want?
I was thinking black.
No, that would be boring. I mean, it's a good color, but that's what everybody would want to wear. I don't know where you're going. Why don't we play with your skin tone?
Really?
Yeah, something in the family of gray or blue. Look at this. What do you think?
Not bad.
I think it's really beautiful and it
Yeah.
would sit perfectly in your skin tone. And then you can always pair with different colors. You know, there's beige pants. Look, something like this.
I like this.
Exactly. Or gray. You want to see this as well?
You have a very good taste.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe I'll just take it too.
Perfect.
I'm Emmanuel, by the way.
Princess.
Yeah, that reminds me. What do you plan on doing next week as regards your birthday? How do you want to celebrate it?
Above that, I don't have any plan. Plus, George isn't around to take me out.
Oh, that's true. Eh, don't worry, me, I'll take you out. Speaking of George, do you think he's going to put a ring on it?
I don't know really, but I'm just being hopeful.
Yes, I'm being hopeful because you're not getting any younger, my sister.
What?
What?
What does that even mean? You are older, remember?
Excuse you?
Okay.
How am I older? We're age mates. What are you saying?
How are we age mates? You're 2 months ahead.
Hey, you reach age matter now. I'm 2 months ahead. But when it's time to share something equal, I was.
Well, when you put it that
Come on,
way.
get that. To be honest, I'm actually really happy for you. I mean, you have everything in place. You have a man who loves you. He's clearly going to propose very soon.
I thought that. I'm not sure, but I'm just being hopeful.
Whatever. You should have a happy relationship.
Thank you.
Hi. Look who we have here. Princess.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, wow. Hi, Emmanuel, right?
Yeah.
It's really good to see you again.
Yeah, same here. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I was just about to start eating.
Oh, really? Okay, can I sit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
How have you been?
Good, good. And you?
Very good.
Of course. So, where are you from?
I'm from Kogi State.
You're from Kogi?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What a coincidence.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm actually from Kogi too.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you're my brother?
Well, you're my sister. Wow. Nice.
So, the event you went for the other...
Excuse me, sir.
Oh, let me have it. Yeah, I'll handle it.
Wait, you want to take the bill?
Yeah, sure, it's my treat.
Come on, I'm the man. I should be doing that.
What does being a man have to do... Savings, please. What does being a man have to do with anything? Savings. Okay,
Wow. That's the first.
there you go. Well, welcome to my world.
Wow.
Thank you very much. All right.
I didn't see that one coming. I can't believe the princess paid for me. Wow. Most women would have seized the moment and ordered the whole kitchen expecting me to pay. She's actually totally different from all those parasitic women I've been with. She's the kind of woman that I need by my side. With the way she's managing her boutique, it's obvious she will be able to manage her home. Hey,
Hi, Emmanuel.
good afternoon.
Hi, how's it going?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well.
Okay.
Well, let me guess, you came to get some suits. We actually have new stock. They're really nice.
I actually came to give you something.
Oh, what is this?
See for yourself.
What's this for? What is this for?
Do you like it?
I love it. What is it for?
It was my little way of appreciating a hardworking woman.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I was thinking, can I take you out after work?
Yeah, sure, I guess.
Okay. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So, should we do this again?
Absolutely. You okay?
You have really cute eyes.
Well, so do you.
Me? Please don't flatter me. My eyes are really big. Come on.
No.
Sometimes I wonder why my parents didn't call me Irene. Irene, you know? Yeah.
You're so funny. With a friend.
Your friend?
Yeah.
Which friend is that?
A guy I just met.
A guy?
Yeah.
Who is this guy? How did you meet him? Where does he live? Who is he? Where is he from?
Calm down. Sheesh, your blood today hot.
You haven't gone out with a guy in a while, so I'm curious to know who this person is.
Well, it's actually a customer turned friend.
Ooh, is this customer cute, or is just like, oh?
He's actually very cute.
Ooh, I'm happy for you. My friend is falling in love again.
I just met him 2.5 seconds ago. I don't know about love. Besides, what's the essence? I'm just, having fun because I know once he finds out about my condition.
Here we go again. Would you stop with this condition thing? I told you there's someone out there waiting to love you, and it's happening. Can't you see?
My darling, he keeps saying this love. I just met this guy. Look, whatever happens, I'm just gonna have fun, and if he stays, fine. If he doesn't, life goes on.
That's the spirit. Man comes, man goes. Princess still remains.
Whatever, man. I'm tired. I have so.
So how is this guy? Like, tell me. Wow. Listen to this. Too much love. Oh my God, Grace! Let me look like Grace.
Please. I need to get these things from the supermarket. But I've bought myself, but I'm having cramps, I beg. I hope people can ride. Just tell me how much it is. I'll transfer it.
Okay, but
Please hurry up now. Please.
it's my birthday. Can't believe she forgot. Please don't be angry. Oh. Which road is this you're taking?
Oh, this is the shortcut.
Okay, but you said that 30 minutes ago, and the map is actually showing a different route.
Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
Trust you. What has trust got to do with this? And what do you mean you know what you're doing? I'm telling you that the map is showing a different route. Please, where are we going? And we've been driving for over 45 minutes.
Do you want to teach me how to drive? Or I don't get.
Which one is that? Do I want to teach you how to drive? What kind of talk is that now? It's a simple question. What route is this?
I said I'm taking a shortcut.
What stupid shortcut are you talking about? The map is showing, the minutes keep increasing.
Oh, please, don't yell at me, please.
Which one is that? Should I
Please,
yell at
don't
you?
yell at me. In fact, I'm not going again. I have to take you back to your location, please.
What did you just say?
I can't deal with this.
You want?
Please.
No, wait, I heard that. You want to take me back to where you picked me?
Of course. Of course.
Something must be wrong with you. You're a very senseless person.
Don't take rubbish, please. Don't yell at me. I don't like it. You don't have to start yelling at me. Must you have to yell at me? I said I'm taking a shortcut, please. For heaven's sake.
So it's by force to take a shortcut. Please, and please follow the map and take me to where I'm going to. My friend is sick and I need to buy her some drugs.
In fact, I'm taking you back to where I picked you from, please.
Why would you do this? Today's my freaking birthday and you're ruining my whole day.
I don't fucking care. Do you know the wrong one that I do?
Are you better than Google Map? Are you?
Oh, please, spare me that crap, please. Spare me that crap. Don't need to yell at me, please. In fact, I'm not going again. Please, just calm down. Please, calm down. Please. I hate nonsense.
Frustrated fool. Nonsense.
Oh, thank you.
You will not believe what Happy birthday! Oh my god! What's going on here?
Hold on, breathe. It was a prize.
Oh my god!
Oh, this is Manuel, by the way.
Emmanuel. Wow! And you're part of this?
Yeah, he actually put this on together. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, I'm gonna take this call.
Sure.
Hello? Sylvia? How's it going? I hope it's getting good, like you're putting it together.
Sylvia, no now. What do you mean? No, I don't want to hear anything you have to explain. Stop it. You always do this thing every last minute. What am I supposed to do now? Look for a cake from the store? I told you tomorrow is her birthday. Now stop it, please. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please, let's not be disrespectful. Come on now. Are you joking? I need the cake by tomorrow morning. End of story. Don't tell me anything.
What's wrong?
Don't mind this silly baker. She always gets on my nerves. I booked a cake since it's my best friend's birthday tomorrow, and now she's telling me that she can't find a certain butter. What am I supposed to do with that piece of information?
Just calm down, okay? I'm sure the cake will be ready tomorrow.
I hope so. She's just making me panic for no reason now.
It's okay. It's okay. You know what? I have an idea.
Happy birthday, my love.
Thank you.
Did we get you?
Yes, you did. Such a great way to finally meet you. I heard so much about you.
I have. Actually, my pleasure.
Yeah, surprise for you.
Another surprise.
Yep. Do you wanna see?
Nice dress.
Are you gonna try it on? Wait. We have one more surprise for you.
Another surprise.
Yes. It's your day. It's full of surprises. So close your eyes.
Okay.
What am I doing?
I can't see. My eyes are closed.
Okay. Now you have to count 1, 2, 3.
What are you up to this time?
Are you ready?
What are you up to?
Oh my goodness, Luta, don't be difficult.
Okay, fine.
Now.
1, 2, and 3. Can I open my eyes now?
Yes, you can.
George!
Luther, you're the best thing that has ever happened to me. I wake up every morning thanking God that you came into my life. Will you do me the honor of being my wife?
Yes! Yes!
You say yes!
Oh my God!
Congratulations, guys! Like you had a choice. Congratulations, guys!
Congrats. Congrats. Princess.
Yeah?
I would want us to become more intimate, you know, like, I'd like us to start a real relationship. What I'm trying to say is I would like us to take our relationship to another level.
I'm epileptic. I have seizures every now and then. Something I've battled with my whole life. I have epilepsy.
This is the toughest decision I've made in my entire life. Truth is that I like you a lot, Princess. But the fact is that you have a health condition that is very difficult to manage.
Emmanuel, look, you don't have to be in a relationship with me. I mean, I'll totally understand. I think it's only an insane person that would walk into a relationship fully aware of the fact that the other person has epilepsy. So I completely understand. You don't have to be in a relationship with me.
Well, in that case, count me amongst the insane ones.
Okay. Wait, what?
Yes. I like you a whole lot, Princess. Epilepsy or no epilepsy. Anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm sure they'll figure it out somehow.
That's left to them because me, I'm not even worried about it. I can't be bothered.
No. That reminds me. Are you busy this weekend?
Not really. But I can switch plans for you. What's up?
Well, my uncle and my aunt are coming into town and I want you to meet them.
my god! Babe, stop, for real?
That was the truth, yeah. You know, it's about time you met the in-laws now.
Stop, no, when you say it like that, you make me blush.
Come on.
Okay. Oh my god, my heart's palpitating. I'm so nervous.
It's not that serious now.
It is. Are you joking? Okay.
Well, if you say so. But I'm happy you're excited.
What? Okay, I know what you're about to ask. Yes, it's Emmanuel. I just feel like Emmanuel is God's answer to my prayers.
He is. I always tell you, there's a man for every woman. And like I said, I just knew there was a man somewhere waiting for you, waiting to love you.
I can't believe all of this is happening. Like, he wants to introduce me to his family.
Don't say.
I'm serious.
Oh my god! So that means we'll be planning another wedding, right? So
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Amen.
So shall it be.
Amen. Nah, but really, I just wanted to say thank you for being such an amazing friend. You've been there the entire time.
Stop it already. You're like a sister to me, you know that.
I need to cook today.
I'll cook today, tomorrow, every day until your wedding.
Thank you.
I love seeing you happy.
Aww. Just for good.
Come on, you're fine, you're perfect.
Okay. What do I do? Do I kneel down when we come, or I don't know? Do I handshake?
Babes, just be yourself. Okay?
Okay.
You look good.
Thank you.
There we are.
Oh my goodness. Good evening, sir.
Wow.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Wow.
Such a beautiful girl.
Very beautiful.
Please.
Thank you.
Wow.
So how are you doing?
I'm very well, ma.
You know, Emmanuel told me that you are from Kogi State.
Oh, yes, I am.
I see that Kogi babes are amazing.
Wow.
Babes! 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 Help me! Babes, I need help! Now. Help, please! Now, why now? Can somebody help me?
Hey you. I've been waiting for you. So how did it go with your visit to our prospective in-laws?
Disaster.
What happened?
I had a seizure.
Oh my god.
You didn't have seen the way they were looking at me. His auntie and uncle just kept staring like they're still a goal.
I can imagine. Why today now? Why? What about Emmanuel? What did he do? What did he say?
They just told me to go home and get some rest.
God, I'm so sorry.
What if he decides not to be with me anymore?
Don't say that. Come on. It's not like you didn't tell him. You told him about your condition and he knew what he was signing up for.
Yeah, but what if his auntie and uncle convinced him not to be with me?
Please, please, can you just be optimistic? Emmanuel will not live like the rest of them. He's God's answered prayer, remember?
What's going on now? It's the same network issue since. What's going on? Oh.
Oh, there you are. Why are you not sleeping yet?
I've been trying to reach Emmanuel. His number has not been going through.
Maybe he's busy or his phone battery died.
Well, yeah, but at least he would have reached out to me by now. He hasn't called or texted.
Relax, princess. Okay?
What if he doesn't want to talk to me anymore?
Don't say that, please. You are thinking too much. Just get some rest, okay? I'm sure he'll call.
Okay.
Okay, can you try and get some sleep? If you need me, just call, okay? Just wanted to check. Good night.
Night.
Okay, let's go.
What are you doing? What are you doing here?
Hey, Bushy.
Babes, go wait for me in the car, okay? I'll be with you soon.
Babe, go wait for me in the car. I'll join you. Are you serious? I've been calling and I've been texting you. You're not taking my calls or responding to my
Well, maybe you
text.
should stop calling, all right? Look, my aunt and my uncle said I cannot have something to do with a woman that has epilepsy.
Don't do that. Do not do that. The very first thing I told you was my condition and you said you were okay with it.
Look, I was blinded by love, all right? Maybe it beclouded my sense of reason, but now I can see. And I can't do this. I'm sorry.
Emmanuel.
I'm sorry.
I've spent my whole life searching for the one for me. But all it did was leave me hurt and broken in the misery. How do I silence the pain of always knowing?
You're not going to work.
I don't feel like it.
Come on, princess. You need to get back to your life. Emmanuel has come and gone.
Lotta, please, I'm really not in the mood for this pep talk right now.
Look, I understand how you feel. We all thought he was different, but clearly he isn't. And so what if he left you? Huh? So what? You need to Get back there. You have so much to achieve in life.
Honestly, I don't know what I'll do without you.
Nothing.
Stupid. I'll just stay home and watch TV. Let me just get myself together. I don't want to go to work with this energy.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I will be.
Okay, I need to start going. I'm running late.
Okay.
And again, since you are going to be at home, please don't forget to call Mr. Akim to check our plumbing issues.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. All right, Missy. Dad, please go away.
Bye.
Bye. Just go. Mr. Akim, how far? Okay. Yeah. Please, are you available? What time can you come to the house? I have some plumbing issues, especially in my bathroom. Oh, you're not? Okay. Can you recommend someone? Or would you be available later? It doesn't have to be now. Tomorrow. No. Tomorrow is too far. Tomorrow is too far, please. I literally no. Like water is not even going. Okay, you sent. Okay, please help me send someone. Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm coming. Hi.
Hi, my name is Benga
Right.
from Mr. Tunde. I'm the plumber.
Right. I'm gonna show it to you. Let's just. Okay.
Madam! Take it easy.
Yeah.
Sorry. Take it easy.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Sure, just thank you.
I think you really need to relax and take some rest, okay?
Thank you very much. I appreciate.
It's okay. Yeah, I want to go and check the toilet now.
Oh, okay. It's first room to your right when you get upstairs.
Okay. Please, in case you need anything, you can call me, okay? Yeah?
Thank you. I appreciate you there. Thank you.
Okay, I think I'll go to the toilet now and go and check what happens.
Okay. First door to your right once you get upstairs.
Okay. Please, if you need anything, you can call up.
I'll be fine. Thank you.
Okay. Ma.
Sorry.
I'm done.
Right. Please do share your details with me. How much is my bill?
Don't worry, Ma.
Why?
It's fine. I decided to do it for you free.
No, please. I mean, you've done more than enough. Business is business. Let me pay for your services, please.
It's okay, Ma. All I want you to do right now is to take very good care of yourself, okay? You really need to relax and have much more rest. I think I need to go now. I'll come back to check up on you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I owe you big time.
It's okay. As I said, I will come back to check up on you, okay? Thank you.
Hi, how are you? How's work today?
Fine, thank you. Oh my God, what happened?
Nothing. It was just a small accident.
Accident? How?
All right, fine. I sprained my ankle when I had a seizure.
Oh my God.
No, it's okay. I mean, the plumber was here right on time to help me.
Mr. Hakim?
Oh, no. Mr. Gwenga. He stood in for Mr. Hakim. Very gentle.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm so sorry.
Is
it hot?
It does. If you touch it like that, it does. It's still fresh.
I'm so sorry.
Nah, it's okay, Mama. No. Why don't you go take a shower? You just oh my God, Lota.
Oh my God, sorry I wasn't here.
Nah, it's okay. What would you buy for me?
I should stop leaving you by yourself. You know.
Child, please. I'm coming. 1 second, please. Hi.
Good afternoon, Princess.
Hi, Gwenga. How are you?
Fine. And how is your ankle?
It's healing up pretty fast. I mean, I've taken the bandage off. I'm still limping, but I'm okay.
That's nice.
Yeah. I was in the kitchen before you came.
Oh, do you need any assistance there?
Absolutely not. You've been of more than enough help to me. I'm okay.
Princess, I've not even started helping you, okay? Okay, I need to go to the kitchen to help
No,
you.
actually, I don't need any.
Where is it?
It's the door right in front of you. Yeah. You're really good at what you do.
Yes, let's say I always stay around my mom anytime she's cooking.
Right, I can tell. At least we know now that no woman can use food to threaten you.
I agree. I know how to cook more than some women.
Some women. I think you know how to cook more than many women. So, you speak really well for a plumber.
Yes. I'm a graduate. And I graduated with civil engineering.
Really?
I think you should check the rice.
Yeah, sure. Just gonna open that up a bit. There you go.
Yes, but you know, the way the situation of the country is, there's no job anywhere. So I have to settle for the plumbing job just to provide for my family.
Yeah, I can imagine. But I'm pretty sure something good will come up really soon.
Amen. Okay, I think you need to help me with this so that I can pour this, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Enough.
I mean...
All right.
Hey, gorgeous.
Hey.
Oh, Bella, you look tired.
Tired and starving.
Hey, there's food in the kitchen.
There is?
Of course there is. Lucky you, Abby.
I love you.
This is good.
today?
You look good. Sorry.
Princess, there's something different about today's cooking. What did you put in it?
Well, I didn't make it. Benga did.
Who is that?
The plumber now. He came around today. He said he came to check on me and then he met me cooking. Said he wanted to help, but ended up taking over.
Wait, he's a cook too?
I guess you could say that.
Wow. Anyway, just do let him know that he needs to open a restaurant because this tastes super delicious.
I'll tell him.
Of which?
I'll ask you for a favor.
Okay.
Hello, ma.
Hi. Hi, how are you? How's it going? Good to see you.
Lovely place you have here.
Oh, thank you very much.
If I make money, big money, I'm going to spend all my money in your shop.
Oh my goodness, you're so funny.
You asked me to come.
Yes, I did. I was going to talk to you about the whole vacancy discussion we had. I had spoken to my friend Ruta and she said there was a vacancy at her office.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah. Can we go to my office and talk better, please?
Oh, why not?
How have you been?
Everything's fine, ma.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Fine.
You're good.
Ah, you look good.
Oh, thank you.
I bought you this.
Oh, what is this?
Just something little, just to appreciate you for getting me a job.
Come on now. I didn't do anything extraordinary. I did what a normal person would do.
But at least recommended means a lot. At least open it and see what I got for you.
Thank you. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness, wow. Thank you.
It's okay.
Oh, that's so thoughtful of you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
You want to come in?
I think I want to go.
Why? No, I insist. Come on.
Okay.
She's beautiful. Which one should I pick? Babe, please, which wedding cake design should I choose?
Okay.
Okay. Are you even seeing what I'm showing you?
Huh?
Please, help me choose. And who are you talking to that's making you giggle like a child?
Sorry. Sorry. It's actually Benga. He's been cracking me up since.
Oh my God. Benga, again. What's with you and Benga? Every minute, Benga, Benga, Benga.
What can I say? He's a cool dude.
Cool dude.
Let me check.
Chat with cool dude later. Please help me check.
I'm not with it.
I'm going to hold your phone now
Yeah,
because I don't trust you and
Alright,
your Benga.
I like this one, but it's too simple.
Okay.
Maybe I'm not. Oh, this one's good. But the diamond's edible.
I think
Exactly.
so.
No, they're
course.
not. It's not sugar, because if it was sugar, it would have melted. Oh, this is cute, but then it has to be like in layer. Finally, the wedding is over.
Yes, I can imagine. You can now rest, right?
I know, but I'm gonna miss her. The whole house will be empty without her.
I'm here for you, okay? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have any feelings for me?
It doesn't matter now, does it?
It does matter.
What's the point of having feelings for you when I know that I can't have you?
Says who?
Says every single person that has come into my life and worked out because of my condition.
I am different. And your condition is inconsequential. You need to know this.
To you, it is inconsequential, but what about your family?
They don't matter. What I feel for you matters.
I've spent my whole life searching for the one for me.
Babe. Finger. Hello? What is the problem?
Princess, what did you say?
What's the problem? You're not paying attention. What is it? What's bothering you? Before you say nothing, I can tell something is bothering you, so please spill.
I have some family issues that I need to sort out, but I need some money to sort it out.
Baby, how much are we talking about here?
450,000.
Are you serious? You let 450,000 naira bother you this much? Come on now. Alright, fine. I'll give it to you. I'll sort it out, but you have to promise me that you're going to be happy.
I am happy now.
Continue watching
I am happy. Thank you so much, okay?
It's okay. So, do you think you can make this? I was asking.
Okay. Let me watch a little. Hello, Ifemi, how are you? I'm fine. And how is Junior? Yes. Junior, how are you, my boy? Okay. I will give your mother money to buy you juice, okay? Very soon, my boy. Very soon. I'll come, okay? Bye. Please give your mother the phone. Let me talk to her. Hello, Ifemi. I'm sorry I've not sent you the money for the shop. I know. I'm working on something, okay? Very soon, I'll send you the money. All right. Thank you. Soon, okay? I'm trying to round up some stuff. Immediately I'm done, I will take you to meet them.
Okay. How many siblings do you have again?
10. We're polygamous in family, okay?
You like the food?
Yeah, very nice. You're a good cook.
Coming from you, I'll take that as a compliment.
Bit,
You want some water?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so what plans do you have for your birthday coming up next week?
I'll just take you to a restaurant, one of the best in town, and then we order different kind of food, and then we eat. But I pray you know how to cook like you.
Oh my goodness. Don't worry, I'll make it a memorable one for you.
Are you sure you won't get
Ciao, please. Stop
this
it.
one?
Yeah. But how's the honeymoon going? Wow. I'm okay. Oh, dear. Of course I am. But Wendy has been doing such a great job keeping me company since she left.
Yes, we are, and I love you. Yeah, I know. But I actually do feel like this is the one, to be honest. Yo, enough about me. How's Dubai? Something you need to tell me.
What is it?
Okay, promise me you won't freak out.
What is it? If you want to cheat me or you want to do something bad.
No. Actually, I don't think I'll be able to make it for your birthday.
But you promised me we were going to be together on that day.
Oh, babe, look, it's beyond my control. Trust me. I have to go to Kogi to do a couple of things. Please. I promise I'll make it up to you when I get back.
Okay. The only way you will make it up to me is for you to cancel that trip.
No, stop. Stop. Look, if I could, I would. We won't be having this conversation if I could. Don't be like that.
It's okay.
You're not mad?
I'm fine. I love you too.
You're not mad?
Crazy girl. My love, I wish you could be here with me. I understand. But I want you to know that we're going to celebrate many more years together. I understand. And I agree. I will make it memorable for us next year, okay? I promise you that. Nothing. I'm home, all alone, missing you. It's okay. So tell me, how is Kogi? So, what are you going to get for me for my birthday? You know I don't like surprise, so tell me, what is it?
Patience.
Okay, I will be patient, but I pray it brought me good luck. Tell me, how is Junior? I miss both of you very well.
Miss you. So how do you plan to spend it?
Just here, all alone at home. As my loved ones refuse to come and celebrate with me.
I think you should.
No, I'm not going anywhere. Okay. Okay. Ifemi, have you received the alert?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So please, I want you to use the money to pay for the shop and also send for the goods as soon as possible.
I definitely will. When will you come to the village? We really miss you.
Soon, Ifemi. Soon. But I'm very busy here with work, okay?
Okay, I understand. Thank you for the money again.
It's okay. So tell me, how do you want to decorate the shop? What is that?
Daddy!
Junior!
Happy birthday, dear.
You didn't tell me you're coming.
Well, if I did, it would be a surprise.
Well, I'm actually surprised.
Good, good. So guess what? I brought bush meat from the village to prepare that egusi soup that you like.
Oh, thank you. Okay, make your way to the kitchen.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going out, okay, to get you guys drink, to make you guys comfortable so that we can have a little celebration, right, Junior? So make yourself comfortable here.
Okay, no
So we
problem.
go to the kitchen.
All right.
All right, let me drop the bag in the room. Junior, make yourself comfortable, okay? Okay, change the channel you want. See you soon.
Mommy, someone is knocking.
Go and see who it is.
Good afternoon, ma'am. This one are you looking for?
I'm looking for. Sorry, my name is Princess, and I'm looking for Benga.
I'm looking for my dad. He went to go and buy some things for his birthday.
Oh.
Junior, who is that?
Mommy is one auntie. She said she's looking for daddy.
Okay, ask her to come in.
My mommy said you should come in and wait for my daddy.
Junior, where is the auntie?
She has gone.
Oh, okay. All right, come and help me in the kitchen. Let's go.
I've spent my whole life searching for the one for me.
That's funny. Oh, you're back.
Yeah.
Welcome.
All right.
Daddy, did you buy this stuff?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
Daddy, one auntie came looking for you.
Did she tell you her name?
She said her name is Princess.
Did you see her?
No. By the time I came out, she had left.
She was supposed to be in Cookie. What happened? Let me try to call her.
Okay. Is everything okay?
Her number is switched off. Princess, she hardly hung up her phone. So what must be the matter? I really need to go and check up on her.
Okay.
See you guys soon, okay? Alright.
Who be that?
I'm the one.
Oga. Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon. How are you?
Fine,
Is
sir.
Princess inside?
Yes, she did, sir.
Okay.
Why the rush?
I want to see her.
Want to see who?
Princess.
Oga, she doesn't know they enter this compound again.
Why? Why did she say that? I don't understand.
You see that why? I don't know. That why I don't know about her. Oga, go back, please. You see this work, now I take care of my family, my wife, 5 children, please. Oga, they go.
Princess! Princess! Princess!
Junior, you're enjoying yourself. Venga. What's wrong?
She doesn't want to see me.
Who?
Princess.
Why?
I don't know.
That's weird. Maybe she thinks Junior is your son and I'm your wife. You know, Junior referred to us as mommy and daddy.
No wonder.
Yeah.
She refused to talk to me, to see me. How now I see.
I mean, you need to explain to her that we are siblings and Junior is your nephew.
Ifemi, she refused to even see me, to even give me a chance to even explain myself to her. She has practically blocked me everywhere on social media.
Serious. You know what? I have an idea.
I've spent my whole life searching for the one for me. But all it did was leave me hurt and broken in the misery.
Good evening.
Good evening, Matt.
My name is Ifemi. I'm from Benga. Please hear me out, please.
Ma'am, I don't want to be disrespectful. Just take yourself out of my house right now.
Benga is not married and he doesn't have a child. The little boy you saw is Junior, my son, Benga's nephew.
Benga's nephew?
Yes. Junior calls Benga daddy because he's the only father figure he knows. I lost my husband while I was pregnant with him. And since then, Benga has been the one taking care of us. He told me everything about you. How you helped him get a job, how you've been good to him. Everything.
Hold on, so you're saying I misunderstood everything?
Yes, you did. Benga really loves you. A lot, I mean.
Where is he?
He's outside. Your gate man would not let...
Okay. You for where? Babe, look, I'm...
Princess.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yes! 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 Oh my God! Oh.
I've spent my whole life searching for the one for me. But all it did was leave me hurt and broken in the misery. How do I silence the pain?